Joining me tonight, and thank you to the TV and radio stations for covering this live. Today I delivered to the legislature my proposed budget for the next 2 years. It's important for you to know how your tax dollars will be spent and the choices that lie ahead for all of us. By making the right choices for this state, we can seize the opportunity and make this century Maine's century. First and foremost, we need real property tax relief, and we need to grow incomes for all Maine people. More needs to be done to relieve Maine's property tax burden, but our resources are not unlimited. To do more, we must reduce administration at all levels of government, including reducing central school administration. We should be about excellence in education, not excess in administration. The largest single component of the state's budget is local education spending, which is $2 billion over the next 2 years. With this budget, the state will have met the commitment that you, the people of Maine, voted for, fulfilling the promise of state spending on local education to 55%. That represents about $800 million new dollars over the 4-year phase-in. We need to ensure that money being spent on education is used to support students and teachers in the classroom. In Maine, we spend $2,000 more per pupil than the national average and pay our teachers $7,000 less. We have 152 superintendents overseeing 290 separate administrative units at a considerable cost. I am proposing, as part of my local schools regional support initiative, to reduce the number of administrative units to 26. My initiative will keep open those local schools. They'll boost the classroom resources, improve student outcomes, and enhance local oversight because we'll have more involvement from parents through local advisory boards. The benefits of local schools regional support initiative are a full-time principal for every school, increased teacher salaries, and increased professional development funds for those teachers. A major expansion of the laptop initiative so that all students from grades 7 through 12 will have access to laptops so they can better connect to the global economy. And a very important 50% tuition reimbursement for students who might not be able to afford college at community college rates. Much of this savings, $170 million in the first 2 years of operation alone, will be made available for property tax relief. This plan will achieve the excellence in education that we've been striving for in Maine. It will strengthen local involvement in K-12 education and will open the doors to higher education wider than ever before so that our students are ready to learn when they start school and they graduate ready to succeed here in Maine. The second largest component of state spending is in health care. MaineCare, Maine's Medicaid program, costs $1.4 billion over the next 2 years. Through MaineCare, we provide critical access to physical and mental health services for our more vulnerable citizens, nursing home and prescription drugs for our elderly and disabled, health care services for many of Maine's children. In part, because of our rural nature of our population, our costs are rising faster than the national average. We must get our health care costs under control, but I'm determined that the safety net will not be pulled out from under our most vulnerable citizens. We must improve our administration, oversight, and controls of this program. The status quo cannot continue here, period. I will demand more savings, and I will insist on more savings. My budget will provide an effective medical management for adults receiving MaineCare and will transition all other health services to better management of care so that we're giving the right care at the right time, care that's affordable and accessible. The changes in how we do business will save taxpayers more than $70 million over the next 2 years. Over time, the benefit of those savings will increase. This budget will also ensure that hospitals are paid more adequately and timely, so costs aren't shifted to private companies and individuals. Our doctors and nursing homes will be paid better for the care they provide. I've also asked the Department of Health and Human Services to reduce administration, and in this budget, proposals to eliminate a deputy commissioner are in place and a director of special services, as well as closing 3 offices. In order to meet our responsibilities to fully fund education with $170 million new dollars, and because of the health care safety net benefits for Maine people, I've recommended a $1 increase in the tobacco tax. This tax will address a serious public health problem that costs Maine people $554 million each year in direct health care costs. But it's more than dollars and cents. It's about saving lives. In Maine, over 29,000 children alive today will die prematurely from smoking. Maine's been a leader in education and prevention on tobacco cessation, and my budget will provide an additional $8.5 million for smoking cessation programs through the Fund for a Healthy Maine. In addition to the administrative savings we've sought in education and health and human services, my budget continues to streamline other departments of state government. Now, we've already eliminated 600 state positions and saved $11 million in the last budget cycle. During the next 2 years, I will propose the consolidation of 2 state departments, Economic and Community Development and Professional and Financial Regulation, to form one Department of Commerce with a focus on business activity. Now, as a result of these changes and other reorganizations within state government, we will eliminate several high-level administrative positions as well as other administrative staff. This is part of the continuing effort to change the status quo in Augusta and deliver quality services in a more affordable way. Now, with this budget, the state will have met the commitment that the people of Maine voted for to have the state pay 55% of local education. That equates to $170 million in new state funding that replaces local property tax dollars. But this year, I'm going to insist that the savings available from increased funding be directly passed on to you, the taxpayers, for immediate property tax relief. If it's not guaranteed, I will veto the legislation. But I believe that's still not enough. After listening to thousands of people all over the state, I am insisting that we move forward to freeze property valuations on homes of permanent Maine residents for tax purposes. This must be done to prevent people from being tax valued out of their homes. This freeze is a vital component of our overall tax and spending priorities. It sends the message that we cannot have business as usual. We need to take a bold step to show all of our people that we're serious about their property taxes. Of course, there's going to be opposition to this. I expect it. I welcome it. Change is always threatening, but it's time we put the needs of permanent Maine residents ahead of all special interest groups, ahead of those who benefit from the ever-rising property tax burden. Enough is enough. We need to change the way we do business. Now, we can't simply address our high taxes. We're going to have to address growing our incomes, too. The budget that I presented to the legislature increases funding to higher education. We will appropriate an additional $14.4 million to the University of Maine system, an additional $11.7 million to the Maine Community College system, and the Maine Maritime Academy will get an increase of $2.1 million. Additionally, my budget commits to raising our investments in R&D by $5 million and in our growth clusters by $8 million. These investments will help to fuel private companies, growing private sector jobs in Maine. Now, Maine is truly at a crossroads. In this new economy, Maine stands head and shoulders above any state in the nation. Our good people and strong communities, along with our natural beauty and small-town character, have become scarce resources in a crowded world. The Maine brand represents quality, pride, integrity, innovation, and craftsmanship, things that the world today needs and wants more of. These are Maine's competitive assets in the new 21st century. This means high-quality, high-paying jobs for our generation and the next. It means a thriving, innovative business climate so that our young people want to stay here and raise their own families. It means that if we make the right choices, the 21st century is Maine's century. It means our time has come. Thank you, good night, and God bless you.